you have sold a company for $250,000 after raising $50 million of funding.
Another interesting element in our ecosystem, and again largely unfortunately in Indian ecosystem, which is new and early, is that 90% of journalists don't know what they're doing. They don't do any research. They don't really go on the ground. They make 3 calls and write something and misuse their brand authority that they have. So we had done a recap, one of our entities, and that entity got bound up as a part of recap because we don't no longer use it. These guys found those submissions or the filings of that dissolution from somewhere and built a narrative and would call one of the ex-junior employees to validate that something like this happened. And of course, if that person, let's say, was a part of the company, they would say maybe sure, maybe yes, and then they would cite them as a source. And on top of it, they would, look at our LinkedIn, and we had on LinkedIn, we had a 10% attrition over 2-3 month period, which they called as layoff. So they matched that dissolution with a story of an employee churn, calling it layoff, which was not a layoff, along with a narrative which is very spicy enough to write that, a heavily funded company shuts down. And they said it shut down.
It shut down.
Which was so weird. On top of it, the worst part, they also emailed me previous evening before sharing the story that, hey, Dhruval, do you have any quote, which is at least they cared to ask me, to hear from the horse's mouth. And in the same article, there's my quote as well, that this is absolutely false information. The company is operational, customers are the same, employees are the same, and nothing changes. They also added that quote because they're supposed to by their duty, and they still retain the title.